Okay, welcome back, everybody. We are here in the Duchy of Leinster with High Chieftain Maitiu, who is 61. He's got 2 wives, he's got 7 children, and right now we are in the middle of a war. So we just finished the war for County Dublin. We've taken that. Everyone is pieced out. But because we are allied with Meath up here, we're in this war for the High Chiefdom of Connacht. So if we look here at the war screen, this is basically a band of Viking adventurers who have come to take over this High Chiefdom, which is a equivalent to a duchy level title. And we are one of the defenders here with our allies. So it's, what all do we have? It's me, the High Chiefess here, and the Petty King there. And then our attackers, we've got Jarl Carey and Count Halfdan, which I'm not sure where. It's France. So we are also not doing well. Basically, Meath is getting destroyed here. You can see we can muster about 3,000 troops, and they're looking at 8,500 of 14,000. So I don't think we're going to win this war at all. And the question is, what do we do at this point? Do we try to help our allies, or do we just kind of chill over here? So, right here we've got the first army of Gatorlac, however you say that. And it's being commanded by our son Stephen, who has turned out to be quite an adept military commander. So he's got the Reaver trait. He's a skilled tactician. He is zealous and brave, but also compassionate. So he's got an 18 martial score. He's doing really well as our military commander, winning battles. We also have our other children here. So let's take a quick look at our other sons. Our oldest son and heir, Andrew, has so far been quite a disappointment because we married him years ago and he has yet to produce any children of his own, with his wife being the caveat. He actually has managed to take himself a lover who is how much older than him? Yeah, almost twice as old as him. Literally twice as old as him, and managed to knock her up. This is our physician, by the way. Managed to knock her up and have this kid. So that doesn't do us a lot of good for the succession of our kingdom here. So Andrew has been quite a disappointment so far, and then we have our next son, Stephen, and we have our youngest son, Jesse. Jesse is also doing quite well. He is an incredibly good steward. He's the highest level in his education there, so he's got +8 stewardship. And he, interestingly enough, is married to our second wife and lover's daughter, who's not our daughter, but she is the daughter of Jarl somebody, our mortal enemy, who I've forgotten his name. This turd, it's his dad. This guy. So he came a raiding over here in Loch Garmon and captured our wife, took her as a concubine, and got her pregnant. That's his kid. Anyway, we took care of him via some roast duck that was his undoing and saved our wife. And we got everybody back home. And so we decided to marry Jessie to her daughter. Now, our council, quick recap. We've got Jacob, who is quite a good counselor, and he was part of this family that were wanderers. I don't know what you call them, but they showed up at our castle and we took them in. Jesse is our steward, and he's quite skilled as well. Stephen is our marshal. He's an 18. That's excellent. And then our spy master, Thomas. That's where we're at council-wise. The question is what to do with Andrew. So Andrew would not make a better counselor here than anyone we currently have. And since he's kind of a disappointment of an heir, we're kind of wondering whether he should join the front lines. You can see he's part of Stephen's army here. He's one of our champions. And the question is whether he should maybe have a little more command to be in maybe the thicker parts of the battle, and maybe he just doesn't come home, and then Stephen would be our primary heir, since he has since Andy has no children. So I believe we can double check that over here. So our primary title, the High Chiefdom. Yeah, this is the line of succession. So we have Andy, Stephen, and then actually our grandson, Stephen's son, because he's already had a child, and then Jesse. So that's just for the High Chiefdom. The rest of our succession is over here. You can see how the counties will get split up. So the question is whether we put Andy into battle. And then the bigger question is, are we going to join this battle at all? So our army was up here sieging Oriel. And once we won that war, now we're kind of here on the border deciding, do we really want to jump in with these Viking raiders? Or these Viking adventurers and try to fight them off? So we are incredibly outnumbered here. This battle's entirely lost. Just overwhelming forces. This force is already heading up this way, so I think with the two of us, we could probably win this battle. I think we could. But we're definitely not going to be able to beat these guys. So what do they have troop-wise here? Interestingly, they have no men-at-arms and no knights. So this may change some things, actually. So this is entirely made of levies, who are just peasants, basically. Terrible troops, no training. This army, can we see the composition here? Until that locks. We have the Viking adventurers, so those actually have trained troops. And then we have the first army of Nantes. Looks like we've got some berserkers there, maybe, I'm not sure. Some bowmen. Yeah, so this army is going to be pretty tough. This army just has a lot of numbers, so we might be able to beat them. Now, we do have enough gold to hire mercenaries, so we're sitting on 321 gold right now. We could actually hire a sizable mercenary force and probably just wipe these guys out. But the question is, do we want to? So again, they are looking to take over this High Chiefdom, and really that would cut Meath in half. Let's look at the war goals here again. So if they, let's see, if we lose, Jarl Arnfast gains a contested title, so he would become High Chief there. Gonna seize all territory in his realm. Yeah, basically it's his. So this is what he's doing right now. He fled Scandinavia with an army of rogues and adventurers seeking to carve out a realm elsewhere. That's what's happening. But I feel like if he does, that's not the worst thing, because it's going to cut down the power of Meath and probably help us long term consolidate Ireland. So if we look at our de jure duchies here, you can see how we're close to getting Munster. We need a couple more counties to fully have that. Meath, we just need this county, and we can form this duchy, the de jure duchy of Meath. And, take another county here, we'll actually hold 3 duchies, or 3 high chiefdoms in this case, since we're still tribal. The problem of doing that is, number one, Matt's 61. We don't know how long he's got for this world, and on his death, due to Confederate partition up here, our realm is going to get split. So again, right now, Andy is going to get the High Chiefdom, our home county, Leinster, and the Earldom of Desmond over here. Stephen is going to get Dublin and Ossory right here, and Jesse is going to get Ormond right there. Now, if we add more high chiefdoms or duchies, I believe they're just going to go to next down the line. So nothing is going to change with our primary heir. That's going to go to Stephen. If we add a third duchy, that's going to go to Jesse. So then we've basically, on death of Matt, we've created 3 nearly equally powerful high chiefs. And that's not going to help us in our ultimate goal to consolidate Ireland. So that's a bit of a problem if we are doing that while Matt is still alive, just because it's going to split on his death. We might have to delay that until the next generation. Let's go back to the actual realm here. So let's see what we've got here. We can... we've got a prisoner here. This was from the end of our prior war with Surdurer, or however you say that. That's where we took Dublin. So we can ransom him. We're running a little low on champions. We can lawfully imprison our physician. But we're kind of focused on the war right now, so... The last thing we can talk about is we can denounce Andy, which you can see there will give all members of our dynasty a reason they can imprison him, or we can actually disinherit him because we are the head of our dynasty, which just removes him from the line of succession. So if we try to disinherit him, he's obviously going to be very pissed. And the problem right now is we don't have the prestige to do it. So we're just about equal or back to even on prestige. And I think the big problem has been Matt's a bit of a recluse. And so every time we seclude ourselves, we lose a ton of prestige. So we got to manage Matt's stress level. He's pretty stressed out by life. So I think what we're going to do right now is split this force in 2. And then the second army of Cedarlac, we are going to make Andy the commander, which he is a terrible commander. You can see he's got a commander advantage of 6. And he's got a 9 on prowess compared to Stephen, who's got an advantage of 18 And he's a 10 on prowess, so pretty close there, but he's a much better commander overall. So now we've split our force into two. I think what we're going to try to do is scoot up here. This is where these guys are headed, see if we can help defend this so they don't lose that siege. And then we're going to see what happens with this giant rabble of an army here. So let's get our army selected. Let's go ahead and unpause it and get going. Oh my gosh, and now you can see we've got another large force popping in right here. So I don't think we're going to win this war, and you can also see he's immediately broken his siege. So we're just going to have to see what these guys do. Alright, so it's going to say we've got all these, this peasant army, for lack of a better word, all these adventurers coming right at us. It's saying we're probably going to lose, so we'll see if we get lucky here. Yeah, you can see the comparison. So they got a lot more soldiers, we got this in our favor. Still estimating we're probably going to lose, and we just lost our counselor. We've got to have a spy master. Right now, everybody is pretty mediocre. Our best option actually here is Stephen's wife, so we'll go ahead and throw her on the job. She doesn't really like us. That's relatively neutral, but if we could get her opinion of us improved, there'll be less chances that we die. So here we go. Let's resume this battle. So yeah, we are taking a chunk out of them for sure, but these guys are going to join up. It's not going to go well once that other army joins up. So yeah, we've for sure lost that. But again, mainly this isn't our war. Oh no! Oh, this is the worst possible scenario. Oh my gosh. Outliving a child, Stephen has been murdered. Oh God, how could you have done this to Stephen? If I have sinned, why did you not punish me instead? He was blameless, my perfect son. Life had so much more in store for him. He definitely did not deserve this. Gosh dang it. So, somehow Andy survived unscathed. Let's see if he got captured. No. So our Chancellor was taken captive again. That guy gets captured all the time. Our noble son Stephen is dead. And the worst part is, let's see how he died. Alright, that's pretty good. He was just slain in battle. Usually it's something like he was beheaded or had his arms ripped off or something with the Viking berserkers. That is a terrible blow. Alright, let's take our lifestyle perk. We're at the end of this tree, so we'll just unlock Torture. I don't think that's going to do anything for us, really, because we get some prowess and some dread gain. Yeah, it's not too bad overall, but we haven't really been torturing a lot of people anyway. Alright, so Stephen is dead. We've got no army commander. Once we get back here from our retreat, we'll reform up. We'll see if we can raise any more troops. I think we're probably about the max raised here. Let's merge all these troops together. Sitting at 750. I mean, let's put Andy in charge again. I don't know what we're gonna do now. So we've temporarily lost our Chancellor, so I guess we'll throw Andy in there because we have no better choice. We are struggling here on marshals. I'm not going to pay a bunch just to get this one dude and a bunch of stress. We don't need that. So let's just assign this existing guy that we've got. Alright. They're already at 53% war score. I don't know that this war is really doing us much good, but let's just keep going. Let's see if we can, see if we can get lucky and get Andy killed. So, we take a look real quick. Back to our succession. So now Andy is still our primary heir, and then Stevenson Abraham is second in line after him. Succession is basically the same because Andy's still our primary heir, but all Stephen's holdings are going to go to his son. Let's try to join up with this army and see if we can do anything. I guess they're going to try to fight these guys? That seems foolish, unless it's just because these are... Man, they're just desperate. They're just not super well-trained troops. I don't think we're really going to get here to make a difference. Oh, no! Tragedy befalls us again. Damn it, all the hell. Jesse's been murdered. Oh, God, how could you do this to Jesse? I've sinned, why didn't you punish me instead? He was a blameless, perfect little son. He definitely didn't deserve this. And he died horribly and had his head ripped off. My Thagen Bu Orthodox Nutzen. I'm going to say that. Wow. Let's go ahead and pin him, because we're going to want to exact some revenge. Take a big stress hit. And here we go. Mental break, torrential grief. Life has never been easy, but it feels like the loss of my son Jesse has pushed me over the edge. I still remember him as a baby, so tiny, so fragile. Despite that he survived, growing up, growing older until now, when he suddenly stopped. I had so many hopes for his future, so many things I wished to see, which now can never come to pass. Alright, so we're at stress level 1 again. Do we want to drink our grief away? Do we want to gain the trait Confider, which gives us more diplomacy and stress loss because we're going to share our problems with a close confidant, which is our wife. This is going to be the better trait, obviously, but I mean, Matt, I think at this point is just going to turn to the drink. That seems more in character after losing 2 sons in not even our war. And they weren't even the son that we wanted to accidentally lose. This is a disaster. So Matt's now a drunkard. It's going to give him worse stewardship, worse prowess. Little penalty to his health, but going to increase that stress loss. And he's got these lovely rosy cheeks now. Alright, we're no longer overwhelmed by stress. We lost that battle too. We've lost an amazing steward in Jesse. All these guys are hot garbage. We'll just assign Clemens for like the 3rd time. Praise the Lord, this war is over. So finally, we've lost this war. Jarl Arnfast gained the contested title. What did we actually get out of this? So we gained some prestige, and the High Chief of Meath still likes us. That's our ally. Let's go ahead and disband and try to pick up the pieces here. My gosh. And Clemens died of old age. All right, we got to recruit some people, so I'm going to invite some champions because we've got to get some people here to court. Never mind, we don't have enough prestige. All right, time to get our prisoners back. So, oh, this is good. So we'll pay $10, get Jacob back. We're going to replace Andy with this much more capable chancellor. We're going to put Andy there as steward, which isn't too bad. That'll be okay. So here's the result of the war. Meath is now split in two and much smaller. Breffni, the High Chiefdom. Earl Arnfast up here is now the High Chief of that. So terrible result on a personal level, but overall we'll probably be able to take that stuff. So let's check our succession here now. Well, succession-wise, much better because we're going to end up with more counties. We're down to 2 heirs, basically. Stephen's holdings are going to go to his son. Everything else is going to go to Andy, who remains a terrible disappointment. I don't know why he hasn't had any kids, but this is a disaster. All right, Anna comes of age. I'm proud to see my daughter no longer as a child, but as an adult. With sufficient tutelage, even a child that has displayed little natural inclination towards warfare, such as Anna, can truly come to understand it. She has shown great aptitude, both in battle tactics and the management of armies. It is a shame that she will never command the armies. Yeah, so she's pretty solid. And she's also betrothed to the son of the High Chief of Meath. But that's not the primary heir, unfortunately. So, what have they done? Is this more tapestry garbage? Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm not sure what he stands to inherit, if anything. We'll see how that goes. So, they are now married. Perfect. Let's see what else we can do. We have a few champions, but we can't call anybody because we don't have the prestige. Philippa can marry. Looks like her husband was also slain in battle. So let's see. Oops, let's see who we could marry her to. Who's going to give us a good alliance? This county, this guy's like 1,000 years old. What do you own? These 2 titles. Are you married to anybody we already know? I can't keep all these Welsh guys straight. I don't think so, so let's go ahead and just choose him. Did she have any kids? No, she hadn't. She's had a struggle in life. She is a bleeder, which really hurts her health. She's also become flagellant and is currently wounded, so her health is just struggling. But let's marry her to that guy, and we'll get an alliance. Information brokering. I expect Muriel will be keenly interested in the information I have acquired, indicating her kinsman Dunlag was actually sired by High Chieftain Mael Brazel. Perhaps she would even be interested enough to offer me something substantial in exchange. I'll sell her information for gold. Whoa. Tell her only in exchange for a favor. Knowledge is power. Yeah, I think... Okay, we've got a 50-50 shot here. She's going to pay us 202 gold. I don't really care about these people or their problems, so I'm going to roll the dice and try to get a bunch of gold. Whether Muriel believed me or not when I told her I had information concerning her family is hard to say. Whatever the case, she refused to agree to my terms, sending me away empty-handed. I'll have to find other ways to use this information. Well, dang it. All right. Philip was now married. Excellent. So I'm going to say let's go ahead and call that episode there. Come back, regroup. This has been an incredible disaster.